Everybody from Jana family. This is Kaustabh Kaundh once again back in Aap Aur Hum Ek Guftagu. Today we have with us Nishant Katyal. He would be talking about his vast experience. He comes from Jammu. He's been through he's been through the gamut of technology, marketing. He's into brand building. He's into image building. So quite a few under his cap. So he's won at different places, the many hats and experiences. So we'll begin by asking him as to how it has been to begin with, from the place that you belong to the school you went, to the corridors you walked, and how you groomed yourself, and how you have reached the place where you are in now. So if you could take
Sure.
us through all of this,
Sure.
please.
First of all, I would like to thank the Zina family for making me a part of this, and especially Kaustabh ji. I've heard a lot about you. You are a great moderator. You engage everybody in a way that somebody doesn't want to move the space. So I'm honored here to be a part of this
Pleasure
show.
is mine, and the floor is yours. Please,
Sure.
please
So
feel
yeah,
free.
yeah, you just briefly spoke about where I belong to, and you gave a
Yes,
little higher
yes.
version of me. Well, I'm a very simple person, so to say. Uh, I believe in simplicity. Though things that I do, I want to do it in a very good way, or I have a different, or I would say a nice way of doing things. But at the end of it, I want to keep things simple, and so would be our Guftagu today.
Absolutely.
I would like to use Hindi, English, and some bit of
Feel
Urdu.
free, feel free.
Yeah.
You feel free, Hindustani, Hindi, English, you feel free. I
हाँ
mean,
जी, हाँ
that's
जी, हाँ जी,
it'll be all the more interesting.
हाँ
That's
जी,
what a Guftagu is, if
हाँ
I
जी,
understand.
जी, जी, जी.
Please carry on.
So I'm Nishant Katyal, as you rightly said. I hail from Jammu. I belong to Jammu, but I've been staying in Gurgaon for over 25 years, 25
Right,
years exactly, yes.
right, right.
If I talk about my early days of school and, when I was a kid, I was told that I was a very naughty kid, and I was like one of the kids in the school in the class who was always a backbencher and would get a lot of bashing from my teachers. But somewhere I was also a favorite teacher of the teachers because uh, I learned a lot from them, and I used to respect that learning. Though I was never a number one or a number two guy, but I could barely, manage to pass in 65% and
But
so on.
one of the most amazing part of it, one of the most interesting thing in life, as life goes on, as it carries on, it is now you can look back and say, well, I was not quite there in the front, I was in the back. But those are the ones from the back who rise up. If I were to make a sweeping statement, those from the back who gradually rise up, learn the ropes and make it right up to the front.
Yeah.
Incidentally, what happens is those who are there in the front, well, they do carry on, but I think the burnout is very fast. Probably that could be one of the reasons. I mean, this is an assumption on whatever I've seen around me, little bit of whatever I've seen around. So please.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
would say that with you, you have learned from the back, you took a step forward, and that's how you made it right up to the front. I mean,
Yeah. I
this
mean,
you
I
take it
mean,
as a compliment. I mean,
yeah,
please.
I take that as a compliment. Thank you.
Huh.
And that's how things have been with me. And because there's one more philosophy I always felt. When you're a front bencher, you look at the screen or look at the board.
Huh.
But while you're at the back, you're doing much more than that. You're actually looking at the screen
Actually,
also and doing
how
some
true.
naughtiness or
Huh.
some sort of a shararat around and
Huh.
trying
Huh.
to get to the ground of
Huh.
reality. So that's the kind of kid I was.
Huh.
My early schooling happened in a school in Jammu, which is called Maharaja Hari Singh Agriculture School, Nagbani,
Okay.
which was the heritage property of Maharaja Hari Singh.
Okay. Huh.
So I was fortunate enough to be a part of that school.
Ah,
And after that, I uh, was always fond of hills because being a Jammuite, we were always surrounded with hills. Though Jammu is a plain area, but as you
ah.
go outskirts, it's a hill area. So Jammu is a foothill. So, but I had a lot of fascination for hills. So I told my parents, I said, why don't you put me in a boarding school somewhere in Dehradun, or I was very fascinated with the people where I used to meet, and somebody is studying in Doon and somebody is studying here and there. So I was like very keen. I told my parents, I said, कुछ करो, थोड़े पैसे कमा लो, and then send me to a good school. Although it's Nagmani is a good school, but send me another. I want to be in a boarding school because I believe that what you learn in a boarding school as an independent kid is much more than how you would learn in a joint family or a larger environment.
Mhm.
So my dad was kind enough. He got me an admission in a school in Dalhousie, which is called Hilltop School,
Oh,
and a very very nice and calm place. So I studied there briefly for about 3 to 4 years. Then I joined back my school, which was Nagbani School, and that's my brief stint about the schooling. Then came the later part of the age. Just to give you a little background about my family, my father is an ex-Air Force person, and he started his business of construction way back about 40 years, 45 years back.
okay.
Not even when we were born.
Mhm.
So that's his legacy. And my mom is a homemaker. Uh, we are two brothers, two siblings, and we both of us are like very very friendly to each other, and
You
so
are the
that's
elder?
I'm the younger one.
You're the
You
younger one.
yeah.
Okay.
Now there's
Yeah, your
another
smile
thing.
says so.
so so that's a little story about my parents and my brother. Uh, and now moving ahead to my career, then I did my schooling, and then I wanted to do something different. Those days, the career options, if I talk about, what we used to hear is doctor ban jao ya engineer bano, and then if you have certain skill, फिर cricketer ban jao ya you can do a lot of things. But that was the era when evolution was happening. People were
Mhm.
changing their mindset. Things were shifting from just being specific to these two domains to do something else. I wasn't too clear as to what I really wanted to do. But as I continued my journey of career and education, I thought पहले बीकॉम करते हैं and then we'll figure out we'll do something. कुछ तो कर लूंगा. So
Ah,
that was the idea.
okay.
So somehow, I landed up in BCom, and then I completed my BCom. While in the third year, I was very focused that, now I have to go in a stream which is going to look at the market side of things.
Mhm.
So I chose that I should be the one doing MBA. And as career would have it, I completed my graduation in BCom in commerce from Jammu. Then I went to Chandigarh to pursue my MBA. That was year 1998.
Mhm.
So 1998 to 2000, I pursued my uh, MBA in marketing and administration. Post that, very usual of all of us, campus placements and things like that. So again, like I said, still this guy was still the backbencher, and trying to figure out a lot of things around while understanding what's going on that board. So while we passed out that session and my MBA was done, during the campus placements, all the companies would come and pick up the first toppers.
Obviously,
Uh, the,
yes.
the first toppers.
Ah.
And there was a time that I think I was left, and I said, "यार मेरे को तो नौकरी नहीं मिल रही है, ये तो what is?" Then I regret. I said, "No, यार, you should have been the front venture. Why are you here?" Then, as luck would have it, I got a job. I got a placement in a company which used to sell papers. Very very tangible thing. and that was one of the biggest learning point. Paper industry, how it was functioning then, and while after that those era, it was getting into digital transformation. So earlier
Hmm.
we used to do a lot of scribble, but still paper has its own value today also, even if the digitization has happened. So I
Right.
learned a lot there, and then I shifted my base to Delhi, and in Delhi I kind of started looking at multiple options. So I did ad sales, I did .com sales, I was into sales of these ad sales, like I said. From there, that was a time when I figured out that there much more that can happen. And why I'm talking about my personality of being naughty, friendly, and things like that, because that was the moment of truth when I realized that where my career option is, where's my actual career option, where should I be going, where I should be heading.
Right.
And those were the days when the marketing and eventing industry was shaping up, and
Shaping up. Hmm.
it was shaping up, and then slowly year 2001, 2002, it started shaping up, so it became an independent industry as a whole,
Yes.
which we call today as experiential marketing,
Yes.
uh, or we call it BTL, below the line advertising
Yes. Yes.
advertisement.
Yes.
So these are the things that were evolving those days, and somehow I actually figured out that this is my space,
Hmm.
and that's the reason I was never a front bencher. So, so that is where I
Interesting.
took a leap, and
Ah.
I started working with multiple agencies. I started my career with a company called CS Direct. Then
Hmm.
I worked for a marketing company called TIC.
Hmm.
Then one of my longest stint, and a company where I learned a lot, where I groomed myself not just as a professional but as an individual, and uh, you know earned a lot of good positions and good scores, so to say. That company was called Solutions Integrated Marketing Services, which was later taken over by Digitas. And in 2006 and 7, actually, the digital transformation happened. A lot of things became very, very important. While you would do events and activations and BTL one way or the other, but how do you read that database? What are the results of, what are the outcome of any of the campaign that you do? uh, we do ATL campaigns, so it's
Hmm.
tangible. TRP is a
Hmm.
single way
Hmm.
of getting to know
Right.
how
Right.
how effective your communication was.
Right.
But in BTL, the challenge is there are multiple facets.
Hmm.
You have to take a reporting which is offline. You have to talk to people, you have to engage them, you have to engage them through some sort of a game or gamification or something like that.
Yes.
So that was the era when things were shifting from a normal BTL, so to say, to a much more refined, digitized way of doing on-ground promotions. So that is where my learning came in, and the organization that I'm talking about made me educate a lot on all those parameters. And I was lucky enough to serve them for about 7 years, which was one of the longest stint.
Hmm.
And that's where I learned a lot, and then throughout from there, my career has been shaping up in this industry only, and I'm enjoying
So
this.
coming to things, if I were to go back by a few years, now you went through your MBA at Chandigarh, right? As you said that, well, you were not there in the front, but you learned from the back, and then you were, for a moment, you were left with nothing during the placements, but then you finally you ended up, you reached a place. Sorry, has can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Hello. Something has gone wrong. Hello, am I audible?
He is having problem in his Wi-Fi connection.
Okay.
So what you can do is,
Huh,
instead of making the show dry,
huh,
whatever you have
yeah,
heard, listened till
huh,
now
huh,
from him, you can do is a quick summary of it.
yeah, huh. We do that. Let him be back. Let's see. I'll do it.
No. Till the
Huh,
time he is back,
huh.
what
So,
you can do is,
we were having Nishant with us, Nishant Katyal, and we were going through his journey. So this is about how he came from a small place, from a small town of Jammu. Then through his schooling, I think Nishant is back. So,
Yeah, I
huh?
lost my
No, it's
Wi-Fi.
okay. It's okay. So you were doing the story about how you actually grew along with the times, the transformation from, as you said, you joined the paper industry, so that
Yeah,
is something very tangible. So
yeah,
from there, the transformation was happening. We were in a place, in a situation where this, and you were right there at the thick of it. So
yeah,
that transformation took place. You moved from there to events to digital, and how you balance yourself between the two, because paper or anything tangible, it still exists. So how you balance between the two and how you've been taking things forward. So we were at that stage. So it's very interesting. So it's been interesting times, and you've been through all of that. So if I
yeah,
were to look back and if I say that, okay, during your MBA, whatever you gathered was once again right from the back, because you've seen things happening. So you were taking in or soaking in things around you.
yeah,
So when this transformation took place, you were in a way quite ready to move in and take in the changes, because that's what you have been doing by default, if I were to use the
yes,
word. So
yes,
you've been
yes,
doing
yes,
that. So for you,
yes,
it was quite easy in a way to, take in whatever was coming your way. So
yeah,
it's very interesting, very interesting. And so today you have carried on with it and you are in the thick of marketing. So how is it that you look at it, things around you now? And what would be your take on how things would be maybe five, because things are moving at a speed. Now, speed
yes,
is the essence.
yes.
So let's say from here for the next 5 years, how would you like to look at it, or what would be your projections on that? Of
Right.
huh,
Right. So, very well said. Yes, that transformation and the default, like I
huh,
said, when I
huh.
identified, what I'm actually made for, what metal I'm
Hmm.
made for, and, I got into the right placement and right industry,
Right.
which was eventing, marketing, and, then
Huh,
transformation to digital.
huh.
So, yes, that's been very interesting, so to say. And I continued taking things as it comes.
Hmm.
There's one more big catch to this whole thing.
Hmm.
Uh, when you're working for an agency,
Huh.
you get to interact on multiple things. You've got different set of clients. You've got different set of brainstorming, having brainstorming every session for a different client,
Yes.
be it a FMCG client, be it a consumer
Right.
goods,
Right.
be
Right.
it IT, be it luxury client,
Right.
whatever. I mean, you have to get your skin in that game.
Yes.
Think it's a food company, then your mind becomes a thinker that thinks only food and FMCG products around. At the same time, maybe once that brief is over and you crack it or you don't crack it, but you give your 100% to that brief, you deliver nice creatives, nice idea, and if you win it, you're always happy. If you don't win it, you don't become sad because there's something else to look up to. And
Yes.
then you switch your mind to another brand, which is, let's say, an automobile company, and you're thinking about how to manage their marketing campaign.
Right.
So what happens is that these things, your thinking is diverse. You're thinking on certain things. Now you're thinking about one, second day you'll be thinking about second, and then another brief.
Right,
So what
right.
happens is you kind of make your mind in a way that you are a better evolved person because you do a lot of learning around it. For a specific brief, I have to study the industry, the category, what are the best practices, how's the world moving into it, and then so in a way to deliver that, there's a lot of great thing called learning that is a part of this whole process.
Yes.
And I personally, I believe that learning is an exercise that happens every minute. Only when you're sleeping
Mm,
is something you're sleeping. Otherwise, there's a moment to learn every second,
true.
everywhere, every walk of life.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you look around, also there'll be much more things that you can see, observe, and learn from. So that's been my take, and I've been enjoying this whole journey. Meeting new people, talking to
Mm.
new clients,
Ah.
uh, thinking about a new brief, doing creatives on a brief, going for a pitch presentation,
Mm-hmm.
impressing the clients, winning the business, and learning. So I think it's a beautiful thing to do. Uh, you learn
It
while you're
is.
working,
It
and
is.
and you're
It
enjoying
is.
that.
It is. It
And
is. So do you multitask if I were to butt
yeah,
in?
yes, yes. I mean, that's very, 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 very big requirement of the business today. You have to multitask. So, for example, if I'm working on a strategy or planning,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I actually need to know how it is going to be operational on ground, how it's going to be translated on ground.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a very simple example, which is yesterday's example.
Okay.
So, we're doing a campaign for a company called ExxonMobil.
Mm-hmm.
You would know they're 90 years old engine oil company.
Yes.
So we are doing a campaign for them, which is for the commercial vehicles, so trucks.
Okay.
So now we designed a campaign about 2 months back. But when we were designing that campaign, we had to go to transport nagars. We had to go and meet the mechanics. We
Mm-hmm.
had to talk to truck mechanics who were actually fixing the trucks. So,
Mm.
one-to-one interaction, and there we picked up certain insights. We developed a campaign, and we launched a campaign wherein we have a large size truck fabricated with the brand colors and brand message. The product is displayed on top of it. There's a scheme that company is running, so that scheme is being displayed on that truck, and that
Mm-hmm.
truck moves around these transport nagars. And this is a campaign which is happening pan India,
Okay.
across India. So you talk about Guntur, Vijayawada,
Mm-hmm.
Rajkot, all these places, and if you talk about North, Ludhiana to Jammu to
Mm-hmm.
Kanpur, all these places we are covering. So to do this, what I had to do is first to actually conceptualize, we had to go to market, get the real insights, talk to mechanics, uh, be out there in the sun, figure out what is the best way. If I'm designing a truck, I need to know where all I can park it, which all strategic touch points are there. How do
Mm-hmm.
I invite these mechanics at that spot? What is it that I incentivize them with? So,
Mm-hmm.
all that thinking goes into creating one campaign.
Mm.
And the learning here is that, you know, you learn from the ground. So if I'm strategizing something, I have to know the ground level also. So that's where the
Okay.
multitasking layer comes in play. You have to be a multitasker. You can think only when you know what is actually possible on ground.
Yes.
uh,
Very much.
so
That is
so I
when
think,
that is when you have to fall back on what you call lateral thinking on the ground. That how many alternatives could be brought into place, and how could you actually work on those
yeah,
alternatives come in. So it's very interesting actually. Why I'm enjoying this conversation all the more is in a very small way. I've been through this process. I also had a marketing background and years back, of course, and
okay,
I've been through all of that about. I was marketing IT solutions and systems and solutions. So
wow,
in the very beginning of those fledgling years in the 80s, and then again I carried on till the 90s, when again at a time when this transformation took place from systems and hardware into software and whatnot. Today it's totally different. But then it's very interesting. I can sort of, relate to what you are saying. So
Yeah,
I'm finding it very interesting. Please go on. I'll
yeah,
come back, and I'll come back in between. So please carry on. And
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so I was talking about how this, work demands multitasking and
Ah,
how efficiently you're supposed to be doing that,
hmm,
so that whatever campaign that you create, it's actually well received by the audience for which you've created that.
right,
So
right.
that's where it happens. So yeah, uh, so all these things are happening, and
Hmm,
uh, I want to talk about the transition from 2006, 2007, 2008, when the digital transformation was happening, and
right.
you know, we'd started social media through Orkut initially, and then Facebook came in, and then
Hmm,
Instagram and other
hmm,
things. Now there are many platforms and multiple platforms. So that is when we felt as marketers, way back in 2005 6, that okay, I am getting some sort of databases, I'm doing some activation, I'm doing some
right,
campaign on ground.
right,
There's a data that I have asked certain questions. Now how do I interpret that data to actually design a more functional or more appropriate campaign for the next phase? So that is where the digitization was happening, and there was a lot of database, but people did not knew how to do it. And then we did a lot of research on that. We had a separate vertical who used to analyze the data and then
right,
figure out
right.
as to what is the best way to use this
Yes,
database.
yes.
How do we do that target marketing, and
Uh,
how do we talk to the audiences? What kind of communication
right,
do we send?
right, right.
So, lifestyle mapping and all that was happening. So I was lucky enough to be a part of that process and learn through my career
Hmm,
about
hmm,
this digitization. And
hmm,
then came gamification and more modern ways of engaging the customers other than the ATL campaigns.
hmm.
So yeah, so that was also a very very interesting phase of life. And now how I see is, yes, you rightly said, it's evolving every minute. It is evolving, and uh, every target group, target audience, or me as a customer
Hmm.
is demanding a lot of things. We all demand a lot of things, and how technology plays a big role is the key. I mean, mobile is the key today. Mobile is your everything. So
It's all
mobile
app
is,
driven.
yes,
It's all app
it's,
driven now.
yeah.
It's,
So it's
we
it's
have
your
moved to
best
that.
friend. I
Hmm.
mean, you can do anything with this mobile phone. So
Ah,
how effectively the thing is marketed to you, the brand comes across to you, is the key. So I see a lot of changes going to come in the near future. As we all know, AI, earlier it was augmented reality. Now it is something else,
hmm.
and it's taken over completely. It's taken over, and there's a lot that you can do around it, and you can design campaigns. It even enables you to think well. So yeah, I mean that's the change. That's the thing I see in near future, and so on.
Uh, okay. Now, coming to all of this, if I were to ask you, are you enjoying every bit of it? Are you happy, satisfied?
Absolutely,
Okay,
absolutely,
okay,
absolutely.
okay. So, what
I
keeps you going? What keeps you going? I mean, in terms of, let's say, other than your work, I mean, what complements that? I mean, I'm coming to your hobbies and passions. So, if you could share something on
Yeah. So, like I said, I love to keep my life very simple.
that.
Though maybe my style of working would
Ah,
appear to be a little more smarter than it actually is. Uh,
okay.
I like to keep it simple.
Hmm.
So, if I talk about my food habits, I'm a very simple food eater. I like ghar ka bana hua khana, home
Okay.
cooked food.
Okay.
Uh, Typically, that rajma chawal human being.
Uh-huh.
with a katori of dahi and onion along with it.
Okay. Okay.
So that's my Sunday brunch,
Hmm?
and I am a very simple food eater. So
Okay.
that's one part. Now those habits translate into my lifestyle, my basic
Hmm.
life.
Hmm.
I enjoy my work. I work. I mean, though I've got time of my own, but still,
Hmm.
somewhere or the other, I'm working. So it's a constant process.
Okay.
Now I have to balance my life as well. You know,
Yes. Yes.
work-life balance. So
Hmm.
that's very important. So
Yes.
what I do is I take a vacation once in 2 months,
Hmm.
and I love to drive. So what
Hmm.
I do is I pick up my car, uh, and I just go out somewhere, maybe
Okay.
nearby hill station. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
You are the second person from your place, Jammu, and expressing a similar sort of interest about driving around the hills and traveling and going. So I also come from the hills. You can say I'm based at Guwahati. I travel around. I
okay,
conduct tours
okay,
across. I have people over here, so I take them around. So every now and then I take to the hills, and it really keeps me going. If you could share some of your moments, let's say about the last travel, and since you mentioned about traveling, driving around, if you could share some interesting stories or anecdotes about your drives and about your vacation, one of your vacations, something to that
okay.
you would like to
So
fall back. Yeah.
I'll talk about one of my
Ah,
not vacation but workcation. So
ah,
while I was on work,
same. Ah,
and it just so happened that my work was so interesting.
ah.
So I was doing a project with the government of Uttarakhand. That
Okay.
was in 2022,
Okay.
or 2 years back.
Hmm.
So I had to travel. So the project was, I'll quickly talk about this project.
Yeah, please.
The project was very interesting. Now all of us we feel that Apple comes only from Kashmir or
Hmm.
Kinnaur.
Hmm.
So the two places we know Apple for. But the government of Uttarakhand was facing a lot of challenge to market their apples because they have a place called Harshil Valley where the
Harshit.
apples
Hmm.
are grown.
Hmm. Hmm.
You would know that.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's 12,000 feet above sea
Right.
level,
Right.
and
Hmm.
it's at a very
Hmm.
high. It's
Hmm.
covered with snow starting November. So I was engaged along with KPMG to identify the farmers, the cooperatives, procure apples from them, brand it by government of Uttarakhand, and then channelize it to the modern retail stores or modern retail suppliers. So there's a process of whole of this. Initially there's a category of apple which is A. So A category apple gets stored in a cold storage for about 4 months, and then it comes to the market at the lean period. So I was working on that project, and I used to travel to Uttarakhand very frequently. And so there's a season. So the season starts from April, May, ends up in October. So I was traveling throughout. So you can imagine, it started from summer, landed up while it was about to snow. In between was the rainy season.
Right. Hmm.
And those days I used to travel from here to Harshil. It's a long way. So you have
It
to cross
is.
Dehradun,
Hmm.
Mussoorie, and from outskirts,
Hmm.
you Terry, Garhwal, all those
Ah.
places you have to cross. And that road I would talk about, a lot of landslides were happening, and sometime I would feel the thrill that, wow, this work is so good, I'm enjoying. And at the same time, somewhere when it rains, you feel a little scared, that you just have to cross this place. And that was really fun thing for me. uh, you know I was very fortunate enough to have done those 4 or 5 travels without having any hassle. And lately I started enjoying, and in the rainy season, it was like very strong rains in that area uphill.
Hmm.
But I enjoyed that trip. And while I was working, I was enjoying and learning a lot of things. I mean, I still look at those photographs that I have, and I cherish those moments. And I bless to God that I'm so lucky and fortunate to be a part of this universe wherein things that I love to do, and it comes across to me as a job. So I love to travel. I'm a simple eater. I keep life simple, and I'm a workaholic. I won't say workaholic, but I love to work. I enjoy my work. So my work lets me do all these things which are my passion. So
Wonderful,
that's where
wonderful.
I feel too good about having people.
How do you take to things like, let's say, the kind of music you love to listen to?
Oh well, that's so again that's
No, you take your call, no problem.
yeah,
Ah,
no
hmm,
worries. So music. I mean, I've been
hmm.
a rock band listener way
Okay,
back in
okay,
90s. Then this most standard is Punjabi songs that
okay.
are more peppy, upbeat, and
So
modern.
who's your favorite in Punjabi songs?
These days, I'm following this fellow called AP Dhillon,
Okay.
who's a Canadian Punjabi singer.
Uh-huh.
But people would be surprised to know that I was a big fan of Amar Singh Chamkila in Punjabi.
Okay, 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 okay.
Yeah,
So, yeah, why I asked you is Punjabi music any day. I find it very robust and peppy.
yeah,
That really sort of beats, that brings in that bit of zing and that bit of zest into
yeah.
your life. So
It just
especially when
uplifts your mood like this.
uplifts your mood, especially when you're down, it uplifts your mood,
Yeah,
and it really, carries you along. So it's a great mood enhancer. I mean, Punjabi songs and music. I myself, I'm a big fan of. That's why I asked you who all are your favorites,
yeah, yeah. I know, I know.
and nothing like it. I totally agree. And what else other than you like to travel and mix it with your work, and you are simple at heart at soul. That's why life has been so kind to you. You're full of gratitude, so that in the sense that, okay, as it came, you took on, and every challenge you're enjoying every bit of it. Okay, that's really good. And other than all of this put together, say, are you a night person or a early riser?
5 days early riser, 2 days night owl.
Okay. Once again, you are taking in the best of everything right from the back. I mean, to quote you back, you're doing it. You're taking in things, and right from the back up front, as you said, 5 days early and 2 days you are chilled out,
Yeah,
and
I
doing
mean
it well. That's
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 fun.
one way to balance. That's one way to balance things
Yeah,
out.
that keeps you in place. Good. So it was lovely. So, what else? I mean, you come from a beautiful place, but of course now you are very much there in the thick of action in Gurgaon, which is the hub right now in northern
Yeah,
India. So it's one of the hubs out there where most of the action is happening. Most of the things are taking place, be it IT, be it marketing, the gamut of marketing. All big corporate houses, they're shifting base, they're moving in there. It's chock a block, and so that's where things are happening. So, but then what I liked about is that you take time off and move out of that place and go out on a long drive. So driving around, is it like at the spur of the moment, or you plan things?
uh, it's spur of the moment. I know that okay, I've got a time frame. Within a month or 2 months, I have to do something. But it's not decided because if I decide, I don't know how my work plans would be. Am I audible? I lost you. आप मुझे सुन पा रहे हैं?
Hello, Kaustabh,
Yeah,
can you
yeah, yeah,
switch on your video?
yeah. It's on. It's
Yeah,
on. It's
okay,
on.
okay.
It's on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nishant bhai, carry on.
Huh.
Oh, he has exited.
Has he exited?
He has.
No, no, he's back. No.
Okay, carry on.
Huh. Huh. So Nishant, a little bit of glitches and all. So you please carry on. So what we were,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Do carry on. Sorry about that. Do for
No, no,
the
no problem. No, I thought we
carry on.
lost some connection.
Yeah, we lost something. Carry on, please. Huh.
Okay. Yeah, so we were talking about the journey and travel, and
Right, right, right,
how
right.
to balance
Huh.
things, and
Hmm. Hmm.
at the same time have fun with everything. So,
Huh. Have fun with
uh,
everything. Right.
and that's been my mantra all through. That
Okay.
whatever you do, you have to
Uh,
enjoy that,
uh,
and you have to do it with a brave heart and a smile on your face,
okay.
and it just
So
adds
you didn't
gratitude.
mention about well, if I can touch you on your about yourself, your home, your family.
Yeah. So I shifted. So I told you about my
Right.
family, about
Yeah.
my parents,
Your
and so
parents,
I, yeah.
your
So
sister,
I'm
your brother, and
yes,
mm,
yes, yes.
mm.
So I am currently I'm blessed with two daughters, and my elder daughter
You are
is
the third on the line, including me. I'm also with two daughters.
oh
I mean, this
awesome.
is turning out to be too much of a coincidence. I mean, it's always I've been interacting, and today it's you. And you
Yeah,
also come up with that okay, fine, you're a father with two daughters, so am I. Please, it's
yeah,
lovely to hear this.
yeah.
Please. Uh,
So I'm blessed with two daughters, and
uh,
the elder one is in class 9, the younger one
okay.
is in class 3, and
Both there in Gurgaon itself?
yeah, they are in Gurgaon.
Okay.
we all stay here. My wife is a homemaker,
Okay.
and so pretty much a very small family.
Lovely.
My little two girls, I mean, the elder one is growing up now because she's a teenager,
Uh,
and you being father of two daughter would know that
I've been through all that.
yeah, you've been through all that,
Uh,
and now again I'm learning that curve of stage, that managing a kid who's a teenager is also very very important. So working upon that, and
okay.
trying to balance things
You are
there
truly
also.
blessed. I'll tell you, so I'll just share a small anecdote. Like you, I was also a student of commerce. And I still remember my first class when into accounts and audit and accounts we were having. So this professor comes in and he talks about assets and liabilities. Okay, he was talking about what a balance sheet is and assets and liabilities. So I just asked him that, okay, fine, I've not been able to get you. So if you could just give me an example. He said, okay, fine, I'll do that. So there's this father who had a son and a daughter. The
Okay.
son grew up, the daughter also grew up. So later on, the father, once on his retirement, son got married, so was the daughter. So they all moved out, as it happens in life. Daughter stays away.
Mm.
The son writes a letter once in 3 months. The daughter writes a letter once in a month.
Yeah.
So I hope you understand what's an asset is and what a liability
Yes.
is.
Yes. Very very
And
very aptly mentioned and very
ah,
aptly
yeah,
explained.
yeah. So he said, when you look at the larger picture, when you look at what asset is, what liability is, so you keep this in mind, and then it'll be easier for you to understand as on the figures. Okay, don't
Yeah.
go by the figures, but you keep this in mind.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. So anyway, coming back to daughters, you were saying, okay, fine, I've been through that phase when
Yeah.
as they move into their teens and beyond. So it's to paraphrase you, to I would say that it's a big learning. It's a big learning. You learn much more seeing them growing up. So it's a big learning, I would say. So I think you are very much at the thick of it, and you are gathering as much as you have gathered right from your days. So the
Just
learning goes on. I mean, it
yeah,
continues.
learning goes on. Just trying to
Ah,
uh, get happiness from everywhere,
oh
everything
yes,
that I see
yes, yes,
always. So it's a
yes,
constant
yes,
process, and I
yes.
enjoy that process.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. So you have friends around you?
Yes, I mean, I'm a very very social person. I
Hmm.
love to meet people. I love to make new friends,
Okay,
and somehow I'm very quick at it.
okay,
And I make genuine friends.
okay.
Uh, you know,
Good.
so friends, whoever are close to me, I
Uh,
mean, everybody is close to me. I would say that,
uh,
and we are all talking about the processes of life, the stages of life,
uh,
careers,
uh,
uh, domestic
hmm,
conversations, and a lot of
hmm,
things around.
right.
So yes, I have a lot of friends. I have a
Hmm.
huge list of friends, and that shows on my, I'm might not be very great at my social media, but
Uh,
one-to-one interaction with
yes.
friends, I'm
Uh,
very excellent. So I prefer to pick up a call, talk, or
yes.
catch up over a drink or something like that.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So that's
Lovely.
something I
So,
prefer
what's
to.
your favorite drink? I mean, if I ask you.
Right now, nariyal pani,
Okay. No, not
coconut
during
water.
when the daylights are on. Not during.
Yes. Uh,
Anyway, we will catch up on that later on.
yeah,
So it's been wonderful. I mean, chatting with you. So yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed. I don't know much about you, but it was lovely getting to know you and getting to know your journey as you made it, and the thought that you enjoy everything around you as life comes. It's a wonderful feeling, and
yes,
that you are always happy. You invite happiness upon yourself. You
true.
let your mind invite that, and that's something really great, really good. And carry on the way you are. be simple at heart, because that's where, satisfaction lies. And I would say my wishes to your daughters, my regards to your family. So please convey that on behalf of Jono family. I would like to sum this up that it was a wonderful evening with you, much more to come, and we will
Pleasure is
be in
mine.
touch. Meanwhile, do keep posting, do keep sharing about
Yes.
things on
Yes.
in the family, and
Yes. Yes. Yes.
please be an active member of it. I would love you to, and
Sure.
we will surely be in touch and keep going.
And it's
Take-
been a pleasure talking to you and interacting. I
same
mean, we've
same here.
interacted, but it doesn't look like to me that we are talking for the first time. It actually made me feel that, we know each other quite well, and very comfortably we're talking. So
That's very gratifying. I mean, that's wonderful to hear from you. And so it is. I mean, so it has been to me that as if we just caught up,
yeah.
and it's not that for the first time. Okay,
Yes.
so
Yes.
wonderful. I would like to thank you for sparing your bit, and
Thank you so
we
much
will
for
we
your
will we
time.
will we will connect and carry on, and as with the family. So
Absolutely. All right.
I'm calling it a day. So that's about it. Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for
Thank
the
you.
opportunity and being a part
Thank
of
you.
this.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Have a good day. Bye.
Good day.